So part 2 of where do England go from here? In part 1 I had a look at England's player performance in the World Cup and then who should stay, who should go, who should just stick around in the interim for a couple of years. In this one I'm going to look at a squad building towards the Six Nations, a team for the Six Nations, and also some other players to keep an eye on. Coaches, will we see some changes in the coaches? Well, we've already seen Kevin Sinfield saying he's leaving, which is interesting. We don't know why yet, but Felix Jones is coming in, very experienced, so that's a good replacement. Borthwick's areas of expertise, the line-out and the maul, were excellent, to be honest. Is he a head coach? Is he a bit too conservative? Will he learn? Certainly I've seen calls for a director of rugby to come in over him, which is interesting. I don't think it will happen, but it could definitely benefit him, I think. Richard Wigglesworth in attack, definitely question marks because our attack was pretty rubbish, to be honest. We could do with someone like Nick Evans, which is what Borthwick wanted, I think, but they couldn't lever him away from Harlequins. Anyway, pop in the comments below anything England need to change in the coaching, or should you ditch Borthwick straight away, but I think he's definitely earned some more time after that World Cup. But anyway, let's get on to the team. I'm going to pick a 36-man squad for the Six Nations. Obviously, there's plenty of time to go in the Premiership, but this is what I see at the moment. Let me know what I've missed or what you think I've got wrong. Here's the loose head props, and you'll see Val Rapava-Ruskin is in. I think he should have been in for this World Cup. He's 31 years old, perfect age for a prop. Bevan Rod's the youngster. I think he's got loads of potential. Ellis Genge has still got plenty to offer, so I think that's a good lineup in the loose head props. Hooker-wise, well, I think we bring in Dan Frost. 27 years old, he's been around for a bit actually. He looks very young, but he's been playing so well for Exeter, very explosive. He's exciting. Jamie George is the old head. Theo Dan as the apprentice, hopefully coming through. Tight head props. It's a problem, and I've dropped everyone. I think we need to start again with tight head props. It's good to see the RFU are doing special development camps for props because it is an area we need to improve. But Trevor Davison, I think, is an outstanding prop, 31 years old. Perfect age, as is Will Collier. They could come in right now and do a great job scrummaging for England. No scrum, no win, as we know from the World Cup. And Finn Baxter's a guy, he's only 21 years old. I wouldn't start him, but he's one for the future. Get him in the young Harlequin and let the other guys take the bulk of the work. So those are my front rowers. Let me know what you think there. Second rows, I think, is fairly straightforward. Stick with the guys from the World Cup. Ribbons is off to France, so Chesma, Toje, Martin, I think it's a good trio. I've put a big list of back row in there, but I have put them in blindside flanker, open side flanker, number 8 order. Tom Curry stays around, of course. Ted Hill's a guy that missed out in this World Cup. I think he's a really good player. He's worth having a good look at, as is Jack Kenningham. Big tackling, blindside flankers can shift around the park as well. Ted Hill could even go into the second row. Open side, I've put Ben Earl in there, even though he's played number 8 in the World Cup. He's a fantastic open side, as is Tom Pearson. Now, I think Tom Pearson is the real deal. I know I've said that before about Alex Dombrandt, but he didn't come through. But I'm 100% on Tom Pearson. He's got everything. Get him in that England squad. And Sam Underhill's still got plenty to offer, hard tackling, 27 years old. Now, Billy V, I am kind of retiring from England, so we need to look at some new number 8s. And Alfie Barberi, we know he's very powerful. He's had a lot of injury problems, but he's back playing consecutive games for Bath. Very powerful runner. He could be one to have a look at, so he is in the squad already. And a Chandler Cunningham South, I think he could be the real deal. He looked good in pre-season for Harlequins, then he got injured and he's just back now. Watch out for him. I think he's a serious talent, very quick, and he's getting bulkier as well. Tom Willis looks like a traditional English number 8, big, strong, hard as nails, great attitude, and there's loads of different number 8s here. Zach Mercer as well, I think, has just got injured, but he's a quicker running number 8 if England want to play a bit more expansive, but I've got a feeling the game that England play isn't going to suit him, but they still need to have a look. So those are 4 number 8s worth having a look at. Now, scrum half's an area we need to build up with the retirement of Youngs and Kerr. Luckily, Alex Mitchell had a strong World Cup, so he's there. Jack Van Portfleet hopefully can get better. We haven't seen him on fire for England yet. Hopefully he can get there. Rafi Quirk, we know, is an absolute game breaker. It looks like he's got injured again, unfortunately, but he's one to watch. So those three I think are my scrum halves. Fly half is probably the biggest call. Ford and Farrell, well, they're out just because if one of them are in, then they probably take over. And if you can have Marcus Smith and Finn Smith going towards the next World Cup, which is what I want, I think you just need to let them do it themselves, grow into the shirt, and Ford and Farrell are there in emergency if needed to be called up. Now, centre is an area we need to grow some talent. Ollie Lawrence, the only surviving name there. Get Tommy Freeman into the centres. I know he doesn't play there much for Northampton, but I think that's his position in the long term, although he's versatile. And another guy from Northampton, Tom Litchfield, you might not have heard of him. He is a serious talent, big and strong. I could see him being a real danger in the future in the centres. And Dan Kelly of Leicester, I think is a great all-rounder and a really good playmaker as well. He could be there at 12, maybe in the short term. I don't know if he goes through to the World Cup, but at the moment, those are the four names I'm seeing in the centres. Back three is a really tricky area. I think we stick with Henry Arundel, give him some more games. Caden Murley's a guy I think should have started in the World Cup. I don't know why he wasn't playing. Freddie Stewart still offers a lot. Keep him around. If Anthony Watson can get himself fit, he's probably needed for the next couple of years at least. And Elliot Daly's a useful utility, but I'm not 100% on these back three. Let me know some other players you think should be there. I'll mention a couple in a minute. And this is the sort of team I might start with in the Six Nations. Rapava, Ruskin, Dan and Davidson. Very strong, scrummaging props, exciting hooker. Very physical second rows. Move Tom Curry to 6, Pearson to 7, keep Ben Earl at 8 for now. I think that's a very exciting back row. Mitchell needs to keep going at 9 with Marcus Smith. Build that as a partnership. Kelly and Lawrence. Kelly is the playmaker. Lawrence is the danger man. Caden Murley is an out-and-out flying winger on one side. Anthony Watson, if he can get fit, at 14. Freddie Stewart for now at 15. On the bench, we've got George, Genge and Collier, the replacement front row. Ollie Chesham, the young second row. And Chandler Cunningham South straight in there. I think he's a guy to really get in nice and early. I think he's one for the future for sure. Rafi Quirky, if he can get fit, could be a good impact 9. Finn Smith is the second 10. And Tommy Freeman covering centres and the back three. I see that as a sensible and exciting 23. Let me know what you think of that and what yours would be. And if we didn't have enough names, let's chuck up a few more as well. Future England watch list. A few players to note here. Sam Riley of Harlequins. He looked amazing when he played for England under 20s, but of course the transition to senior international is big. But let's see how he goes, because we need some hookers coming through. Second row, we've got Ollie Chesham's brother Lewis. Alex Groves is still kicking about there, who looked great when he played for the under-20s. Alex Coles is getting better and better. We saw him a little bit under Eddie Jones. Then there's a guy, a back rower called Henry Pollock. If you haven't heard of him, he's amazing. He's only gone from the under-18s to the under-20s just now for England. He's in the Northampton squad. We will see some senior games for him this year. Maybe not right now, but in 1 or 2 years, he is going to be, I think, world-class. Mark my words, Charlie Atkinson could be another really good fly half. Centre-wise, we need to keep our options open. Ajomu, Will Joseph, Anyanwu, Dingwall, Northmore, maybe are worth a look at. Ollie Hassel-Collins, I still think, has a lot to offer, as has big Tom Roebuck. Adam Radwan, we know, is electric quick, but defence-wise does make some errors. Joe Carpenter is one to watch at 15, as is young Josh Hodge. So definitely some guys to watch there in the backs. And there's a standby list there as well of players who have played for England who maybe could get back there again. Loads of names. Let me know what you think of the squad, of the team, of the watch list. Comments below, and I'll catch you next time.